Thanks, guys, and welcome. I got my first babysitting job when I was 9. I would go across the street and watch the neighbor's 2-year-old while the mom took care of her new baby or cooked dinner. I got paid 50 cents each day. I was so rich. I babysat, nannied, and worked in daycares for years after that. And in the back of my mind, I thought, when it becomes my turn to become a parent, I've got this. I've got this. Years later, after graduating from law school and making strides at my full-time professional job in academia, it became my turn. Yeah. And, oh my gosh, I didn't have this. Same baby, it's really him. Imagine that you've just had major surgery, something huge that affects your physical body, your emotions, your hormones, and your literal brain chemistry. Now imagine you have to pull 8 weeks of back-to-back all-nighters without a single Red Bull or Starbucks quadruple venti macchiato. Now imagine you have to return to work full-time, put in the same high-level work you usually do, except now you have to take 2 or 3 breaks a day, and instead of staying after to not work or get extra work done, you are rushing out that door at 5:15, crossing your fingers that you can accomplish enough laundry to have something clean to wear to work tomorrow. The all-nighters keep coming without an end in sight, and you're still recovering from that surgery. Oh, and you also have an adorable, but frustratingly vague about his needs little baby. You're not good at talking. You are feeling guilty about whether you are doing enough for him. You are feeling guilty about whether you're doing enough at work. Welcome to working motherhood. And this isn't about just one story. Data from researchers across the country shows the negative impact that returning to work full throttle has on a working mother and her family. A study recently done of women found that work-life balance is the highest concern for women in G20 countries around the world. And many of those women felt there was a block, a motherhood penalty relating to their job advancement. In fact, many women feel forced to forego their careers altogether. A Arizona State University research showed that professional and managerial women opt out of the corporate workforce at a much higher rate than their male counterparts. And this isn't just hurting the women. That the quit rate is so high, even in those sectors, is really concerning even for employers, in part because of the cost of replacing an employee at that level. It costs 20% of an employee's salary to replace them. It costs a $55,000 a year employee. It costs $11,000 to replace. This is a big American problem. 50% of 2-parent households in this country have 2 full-time working parents. 40% of households with children in them have a mother who is the sole or primary breadwinner. And yet, the United States is one of the only developed nations in the world not to require any paid leave for new parents. For those of you who are college students, this might seem totally irrelevant, but not really. Statistically, people with a bachelor's degree are likely to become parents by about age 28. Making this a direct concern for many of you in the not very distant future. Also, many of you here tonight or watching are yourselves managers or will become managers with the power to create innovative programs that can support and empower all of your employees. Let's take a look at some examples of what that might look like. SAP Labs India created a program where they coached women around self-esteem and transition issues before returning from maternity leave. Before this program was instituted, the attrition rate, that means the rate at which people leave and never come back, was really high, in the high double digits. After they did this program, that rate was just 2.6%. Huge results. Google had a problem retaining women after maternity leave. In fact, their attrition rate for women after pregnancy was double that of any other kind of employee in the company. They were losing some major talent in a major way. They increased the maternity leave and increased the pay for leave from half to full, and that rate dropped by 50%. Without innovative programs like those created by SAP and Google, women face significant challenges in their career advancement when they take maternity leave. And this isn't just about first-time parents either. For every child a woman has, she is likely to see a 4% decrease in her overall lifetime wages for every child she has. And it doesn't have to be extending large maternity leave or offering even more pay beyond for companies that financially can't afford that. Support can take many other forms for women in the workplace. For instance, creating motherhood support programs in the workplace, offering support for breastfeeding moms, offering flexible schedules where women can decide what hours they work in line with what their company needs. Those last two options, they're actually proven to improve maternal and infant health, meaning fewer sick days for that employee down the road. Other programs can look like job sharing, workplace coaching, seminars, employer-paid childcare, and more. There have been real results with this kind of program in the past. If we look at California, which in 2002 became the first state to require paid maternity leave, 90% of the affected employers said it was either a neutral or a positive effect on their turnover, their morale, and their profitability. So it's been tested. It's important to think about the fact that contrarians might say it's unfair to offer extra benefits to parent coworkers that I as a non-parent coworker don't get, but in fact everyone benefits. Your coworker who has all this institutional knowledge, who's worked with you for years and knows how things work, she's coming back. Your company, it's attracting higher talented and better employees, which will make your workplace better at what it does. And a CIO.com case study indicated that parents who take leave usually stay in touch. They keep in touch with their coworkers and teams. They keep in touch with what's going on. So really, everyone benefits. So the why in our X to Y is a workplace that supports working mothers. It's families that can thrive and provide. It's a healthier economy. Mothers teach us to tie our shoes, to ride our bikes, to make good choices. Pay that forward to the next generation of working mothers. Advocate for legislation that supports working families and helps the economy. Seek out opportunities in your own organizations to reach out and provide that support for working mothers, like these real mothers here on the screen. Help a mother out. You will be glad you did.